Two people come together, a third entity is formed. In that third entity, you can read dynamics that pull you together, push you apart, the places where conflict are created, the places where you will support each other, thrive together, have friendship. It will show you where you have harmony. Does anyone have a doggy on their lap when they make videos, or is it just... So that's what this video is all about. Recording.
Just wanted to show this is for the answer.
Hold on. Do it again. Do it again.
It's for a dance. You know, is that what we're doing?
That's what's going on over here. That's what's happening over here, everybody. All right. So this is everything I'm going to be talking about in today's video. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Raquel Reynet. I have a certification school. I certify you how to read charts in human design from level 1 to level 4. I have a Dream Rave certification as well as Rave Cosmology and the 4 Radical Transformation. But what's really intriguing me right now is composite chart readings. This is what you would do with anyone who wants to find their beloved partner. This is what you would do if somebody was having an issue with their current relationship. You would put these two charts together and discover things that you cannot find in any other modality. So let's get into it. This is what happens when you put two charts together. It'll pull one person up on the right-hand side, and it'll pull a second person up on the left-hand side. And you'll notice that the lines will be one color. So for Davidian, it's blue. For Raquel, it is green. And what this does, it shows you the composite chart. Now, again, in human design, it's very different. If you add a third person to the mix, it changes the entire dynamic. You enter into what's called a penta. So this is about two people only. It'll be any two people, any relationship. This can have to do with business and or personal. It will show you everything you need to know. But the minute you put a third person, it changes the entire dynamic. So when we're talking about partnerships, they affect every single area of life. They affect your business. They affect your love. They affect your family. They affect your relationship with your children, obviously, any other person in your life. When two people come together, they merge auras to create an entirely unique third entity. This entity has superpowers. It has super hotspots. Learning the aura mechanics is like having your own private therapist to understand how two people can best operate together. Here's a couple of the things that you can learn from a composite chart reading. Who to do business with, why some partnerships fail miserably, how to navigate the problem areas, which two people will thrive together, why you might be triggered with your partner, how can you recognize the best in your partner, what are the hot spots in the relationship, all of this and more in a composite chart. So, this is so important when you're talking about love, when you're talking about business, when you're talking about your clients. So, for those of you who work with people, I can't tell you how many times someone asks me to look up their husband's charts and their connection to them. This is an ongoing conversation I have all the time with my clients and people in their life. All right, so I'm going to give you a few examples that we're going to look up in composite charts today. So the first one is the magic of the electromagnetic. This is when you have the opposite side of a channel pulling towards each other. So when you talk about this gate of skill and this gate of depth, it makes up the channel of wavelength and talent. And it's great because you really need the depth when you're talking about the skill. And those two together make up great partners. And you can see that the electromagnetic would really pull people together. So, the example of Paul McCartney and John Lennon is a great one. Paul McCartney is the one with the enthusiastic skill. And if you're a John Lennon fan like myself, you might know this deep in your heart, is that John Lennon was the one who had the depth. And then, of course, another really fun thing to look at is who has the tribal circuitry and who doesn't. So this might have helped Prince Harry choosing a partner because he chose someone who had no tribal circuitry. Now, I don't know anything about Meghan Markle. I don't know if she's a good person or a bad person, but I do know in her human design chart that she is not going to fit into a tribe. And she is definitely not going to fit into the most powerful tribe in the world. And that's going to create some problems. Then, of course, we have this famous duo. We have Steve Wozniak, Steve Jobs, beauty, innovation, birthed from recognition. And this really is an incredible collaboration here. And again, there's a lot of different things you can look at when you put the charts together. One of the things that's super important when you're talking about a generator and a projector is that the generator does have to recognize the projector. Now, if you know this story, Steve Wozniak was, the freaky guy in the garage who was tinkering away at something, and everyone thought he was just weird. He did not fit in. He was not going to be recognized at all by the tribe. And he needed someone to actually see him and to recognize what he was doing, and that was Steve Jobs. He went in the garage and tinkered away with Steve Wozniak and was the first person to really recognize, wow, this guy's doing something amazing. And he was the one who was able to bring it out into the tribe and bring it to people that might be interested in what was happening inside the garage. So here's some areas that we explore in composite charts: the electromagnetics, the compromise, the friendships, the dominance, the themes, and the harmonics. Of course, there's a lot of depth to this. So let me tell you a little bit about these and why it's so important to understand. When you have an electromagnetic, this is what pulls you to the other person. This is really important to understand, and it's not necessarily a good thing. You might wonder, why am I always pulled to people who cause me shock? Why am I always pulled to people who make me leap into things that are adventuresome? Why do I always feel controlled by this person? This has a lot to do with the electromagnetic pull and not necessarily a positive thing. So learning this is really important because you don't want to just be pulled to people and enter in relationships for all the wrong reasons. And then, of course, we look at where the compromises are happening. This is so key. This could take me an entire year, which is why I am teaching an entire course on partnerships, because I want to teach you how to best deal with compromises, what you can do about them, how to heal them, and what is a good compromise, what's a bad compromise. There's a depth to this and an art to chart reading. And many people want to know how to read charts so you can bring it forward, you can charge people, you can set up shop, and you can teach people how to call in their beloved. You can teach people how to heal relationships. All of this is really important. I'm going to teach all of this in my upcoming course, and I'd really love to invite you to join in. I'm going to teach about the friendship dynamic. I'm going to teach about who has dominance, what does dominance mean. I'm going to teach you what your themes are, what the harmonics are. And if you have no harmonics, this is also really important. So these are some of the things I teach in the partnership course. It's going to be amazing. But more than that, if you don't know my background, I did get my master's in spiritual psychology. I do like to work on the depth and the emotional energy around relationships as well, so that you can explore why you might have trouble getting along with certain people, what is the problem area, what is the pain associated with that, what you can do to heal. All of these things are going to be covered in my upcoming course. If you are curious, there's more information in the description below. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's truly an honor to guide you through the human design journey. I'll see you in the next video.